we begin to see colleagues, employees, shareholders, customers as accessories to personal ambition and as instrument to be used and abused as the need may arise. What a tragic situation of the human society. Second, we lose our compassion in the achievement of success. A position of power once attained insulates us from human consequences of our action. As a 21st century leader, we must be alert to these risks and consciously cultivate our passion. There are things about capitalism as currently practiced that are by any standard indefensible. I am worried when I see an ever-increasing share of world's wealth going to smaller global elites. We celebrate billionaires. Companies spending millions of dollars to tilt regulatory regime in their favor. Governance structures that are expressly designed to deflect the shareholders' concern. Companies that treat employees as mere factors of production. Executives who reap outsized rewards for their mediocre performance. Companies that resist call for greater transparency and customer protection. Corporate PR campaigns that fudge the facts and demonize the critics. We have several cases of RTI activists being killed. Executives who feel that society's interests are somehow distinct from their own. Self-interest is bigger than the society. If you can't find yourself within a little righteous anger about the way your organization fulfills its responsibilities, then you are not going to be very effective in helping and revere the moral fabric of capitalism. Nor moral rehabilitation will come from the top-down corporate social responsibility. These days it's fashionable to talk about this and indulge into it. Often we lament what one person can do. Perhaps you have been told that companies' values have to emanate from the top. That's toss. Just as turpitude compounds, so does virtue. Email, blogs, and Twitter, these are powerful amplifiers of moral consciousness. As Egypt's former president, Hosni Mubarak, learned to his sorrow, in a networked world, when one brave soul speaks up, it emboldens others, it triggers a fire. Yes, moral backsliding is contagious, but so is the moral courage. So exercise yours. That's the need of the hour. And to do that, you are welcome to the discourse on integral humanism, a concept rooted in the Vedic philosophy, as Swamiji just enunciated, resting on the foundations of Rit, Shil, Dharma, Samdarshan, Sarvhitai, and Samya. If you talk these words today, people condemn that what ancient things you are talking about. Those who want to understand it should read the latest book of Henry Kissinger, whose excerpt I read in yesterday's Times of India. They're advised to read that. With profound universal compassion are the ideological foundational pillars of humanist society. Pandit Deen, while explaining integral humanism, said that underneath the apparent diversity, there is a commonality of soul, the great Atma. According to Chandogya Upanishad, human body is the seat of Brahm, that is Brahmapura, wherein the Purusha resides. And that's the reason why Panditji said, Virat ko jagao. This is the most important concept that Panditji gave. We don't understand the concept of Virat. Still, people need to understand it. It is for this reason Panditji talked of awakening of the Virat Purusha. Therefore, all things are naturally cooperative and complementary diversity is superficial. This is expressed by the word ekatmata. Further, he said that man is a conglomerate of body, mind, intellect, and soul. Therefore, we must think of the well-being and development of man and society along with material development. The question is not of either or, that we have to shift from materialism to this. Dharma, Arth, Kam, Moksha are the fourth purushas which Panditji talks about in the context of integral humanism. And they have to be seen in a continuum where Arth, Kam, and Moksha have to be dictated by the Dharma. It cannot be beyond the boundary of that. So it's not a question of either or, usually we feel. Thus, Panditji appears to me in line with Sri Aurobindo, Swami Ramakrishna, and Vivekananda, who stressed the supramental transformation of man into gnostic, divinized Superman. Panditji was not satisfied with only the social, economic, and political development of the empirical man. He was close to Vedantic, monastic Sankarite school of thought, but was also deeply moved by the Bhakti movement. Like Tilak, he accepted the gospel of Karma Yoga, the theory of detached action. Like Gandhi, Deen Dayal ji was lover of simplicity, abstinence, and self-abnegation. How many of leaders today have it? Thus, integral humanism of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay is opposed to materialistic new humanism of M.N. Roy, who is famous for removing the Sati Pratha, and agnostic humanism of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who was illusionistic of human aspirations and volitions because man was regarded by the exponents of scientific humanism as the climax of evolution. While Nehru was agnostic and had neither the aptitude nor the time and training for spiritual and ontological quests, but Panditji can be regarded as an avowed exponent of sanctity and superiority of dharma, rit, brat, diksha, shil, yam, niyam, samvar, and atma nigraha. Today, we are still living in a transitional chapter of the world history. But it is already becoming clear that a chapter which had a Western beginning will have to have an Indian ending. This is the most important call of the day. If it is not to end in the self-destruction of the human race, so said British historian Arnold Toynbee. These are not my words, I'm quoting him. Therefore, let us join together to the task of awakening the Virat for the emancipation of the masses by declaring in the Upanishads vein that no one is small, no one is rich, no one is poor, no one is big, nobody is strong, nobody is low, and nobody is high, because you are the great Atman. Therefore, call is Uttist, Jagrata, Varna, Nibodita. Arise from the slumber of hypnotism of weakness, stop not till the goal of manifesting divinity is reached. Manifest the divinity already in you. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद सर.